Good afternoon, morning, evening, everyone, depending on where you're watching. We're welcome to another For the Empire live stream. Today we're going to be setting up a sequence with a particularly argumentative trooper. His voice won't be on the live stream, so we're not going to know who it is or what they're saying, but you'll probably get the sense that they're not very happy. But yes, as always, we'll begin by setting up a new sequence and dropping some of our characters into it. Yeah, I hope this afternoon, it's afternoon here, I hope it finds you all well, and yeah, enjoy the stream. So, first up, we're going to find a sequence which already has a few things activated in it, like these flashing lights. Let me see now. Yeah, here's a shot I prepared earlier, which I'm quite happy with. Hello there, ISO Bandit. Hello there, Gallant Ascent. Hello, Tinsfur, if I'm saying that all correctly. So yeah, I don't want to have to rebuild all these flashing lights if I don't have to, so what I'm going to do is just duplicate that entire sequence and rebuild pretty much everything except the flashing lights. And we'll call that argue for now. Whoops. Clicked on the wrong thing. Where did that go? Where did that go? Try that again. Does it? That's a good start. I've already lost my sequence. Technically, it should be in alphabetical order. Oh, it's there. Okay, looking right at it. I'm good today, thank you, Gallant Ascent. Just trying to make a little bit of progress every day on the new episodes. Excuse me, got a cup of coffee there as well. So, pull out so I can see what I'm doing. So we're just going to remove these animations to start with, because we're going to kind of start from scratch. He's just got basic rifle idle, so we can keep that on. Can I play everything through so far? Well, probably wouldn't, even if I could, because that would be spoiling then. But the way I personally work is I do my shots individually and render them out individually and then put it together in Premiere. So what that means is, you know, what you saw was just one shot that I've been working on. So there's not really a sequence as such that exists inside inside Unreal. So even if I did show you, there wouldn't be much to see. It'd be like 1 second, 2 second, 3 second shots. But even that would be spoiling it, so I probably won't. This is what you get to see, unfortunately. So I'm just going to add an animation. So what we want this guy in front to do is turn around and start having a go at our two guys behind. So the way we do that, rifle turn to start with. So he's got his rifle, he's going to turn around. And he's going to start arguing. And what Unreal lets you do, which is quite neat, that's super jumpy, is that it lets you blend your animations together a little bit. And I think I foresee a problem here, but let's actually see what happens. This is going to be interesting. So it's basically a crossfade between these two animations here. So we start this one at weight or animation strength 1, and then bring it down to 0. Oops, to 0. And this one starts at 0. Try that again. This one starts at 0 and goes up to 1. You're new to Unreal. How do you create the models for the Stormtroopers? I did not create the models for the Stormtroopers. I found them online and very grateful to the people who actually made them. As I mentioned in another video, I don't consider myself a 3D animator in that sense that I can build stuff from scratch to any great degree, although I am getting better. I have started doing that a little bit more. But yeah, I actually sourced these Stormtrooper armors online. And the skeletons were generated in a free online software called Mixamo, which lets me animate them. So yeah, that's what's happening there. He's turning around, then he's turning back. So we might have to see what we can do about that. So we'll put a little transform on him so that when he turns, he stays turned. Let's see how that looks. Kind of a bit of a weird wobble around there. Mixamo. As it sounds, M-I-X-A-M-O. M-I-X-A-M-O, yeah. It's basically a Adobe-based website, mixamo.com, but it has a bunch of free animations to download and drop onto your characters. So he does have a weird wobble there, but it's surprising what you can get away with sometimes when you don't see the full body, when you're just focusing on the upper half. So we'll see how that looks from here when he turns around. Oh, hang on, just got to delete the keyframes from the previous camera shot so we can move our camera around. We'll see how that looks. He does do a weird little shimmy there, so we'll probably have to do something about that. But I'll come back and fine-tune that later. So what we want him to do is to get in the face of our guy here. This is FNG. So we're just going to put a rifle idle on him to start with. Hi Jesse. Yeah, it's pretty insane the level of detail you can go into. That's funny what he's doing there. So in fact I want to turn him around a little bit more because he's facing the wrong person. Like so. And then might actually see if we can get away with moving him forward a little bit, or whether that's going to look absolutely ridiculous. Okay, it already looks ridiculous, so. Maybe just make the turn a bit longer. You know what, I'll come back and fix that later. But for the moment, we've got him facing in the right direction, so that's a good start. And then he's going to have a big argument. So this is the full. Oh, I just noticed something. He's gotten a little too close to our dude here, and he's actually clipping right through his body. How do I combine the shots for the final product? I render out my shots individually out of Unreal, and I bring them into Adobe Premiere for editing on the Premiere timeline. I'm just used to Premiere. I've edited a bunch of live action stuff on it before this, so it's just, yeah, it's what I'm used to. It's the workflow I've been working with for years, so it just seemed natural to me. Don't want him to get so close that he passes right through somebody's body. There we go. So this is kind of how that looks. So he does do a weird flicky thing there, but once again, we'll fix that. Whoa, why did it suddenly go nuts? What's the story behind the channel name? The channel name AFK is actually named after our original web series, which is still available on the site, called AFK. Stands for Away from Keyboard, because it's about a group of people, gamers, who have become stuck in the bodies of their gaming characters. Oh, I know where that flash is coming from. It's because the door's opened in the background. Sorry, just got to quickly find out what light that is back there that's causing that. It's this one. So I'm going to turn that off for the moment. Cheers. Noticed you seem to give the characters their own personality in how they move around, or am I over-analyzing it? No, you're actually not over-analyzing it. I have tried to do that specifically in that TK FKU, he moves quite slowly, whereas FNG, he's a little more twitchy in his movements. And it all helps to tell them apart, because obviously visually they look exactly the same. So yeah, hopefully just on a wide shot when they're moving around you can tell who's who. Still got a weird light in the background there. I'm not sure where it's coming from though. This is very much like actual filmmaking in real life. It's like, where's that light coming from? How do we cut that? Alarm light, flash, breach. It's the breach. Oh, there we go. It turned. I can delete it off the timeline actually because I don't need it. And there we go. Have I played Destiny? No, I have not. I'm not much of a gamer, to be honest. I don't have a lot of time to play at the moment. I'm too busy making these. I am, however, very much enjoying The Last of Us on Neon, which is the last game I played all the way through to the end because I enjoyed it so much. I do love the fact that you can get quite cinematic looking shots with these virtual cameras with the different focal lengths. How many hours do I spend per minute of final product? It's very much what is involved in that particular shot in the final product. Like something like this, for example. This is a really good animation, and I can just kind of leave this going, this guy ranting away, and it's going to cover quite a bit of screen time. with a few tweaks here and there to match specific lines. Whereas there are other parts of this episode where I've got gunfire and bodies flying around and explosions, and that takes quite a long time just for pretty small amount of screen time. So yeah, it really is a question of how long is a piece of string in that sense, but it boils down to simple shots don't take as long, complex shots take longer. Yeah. How did I get interested in this? Well, live action filmmaking nowadays, especially at a low budget independent level, has become pretty hard and pretty expensive, and it was hard and expensive at the best of times before COVID. So being able to make this kind of visually ambitious content just in my living room is quite seductive in that sense. The ideas I can come up with that I would never have been able to do in live action, but I can now do in Unreal. Yeah, thank you, Galant Ascent. Yeah, you do have to amp up the performances a little bit sometimes because they are you can't see their faces. Now just notice he's got a pretty nasty bent wrist there, so that's where we will come in now and start to adjust this animation, keyframe it so that he's not quite so broken. What's the process for writing the script? I talk a lot with Callum and Dallas, who are the actors, and a lot of the time it's just like, what would stormtroopers do in between scenes? All the downtime, the transportation time, they've got to get from A to B in between scenes. They're going to be talking about something. They're going to be doing something, and it's just fun to try and imagine those little in-between moments. Do I voice my own characters? Not for this one, although I do the occasional character, like the pompous Imperial commander. But no, Callum Gittins and Dallas Barnett do the lead voices for this. I do the talkie orcs. There, do the voices for those guys. Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm not going to say this right. Encalagon. Encalagon. Thank you so much for that donation. Could I make a setup on the programs and what you need to get started? I am in the process of doing that, actually. Yes, that is on the way. I'm doing a Unreal course specifically based around this kind of filmmaking, and I'm trying to make it as non-technical as possible, and all the workarounds and all the shortcuts, and trying to make it in the sense just knowing what you need to know to get stuff on screen, and not trying to go into too much depth, because the depth of this program can be pretty intimidating. So yeah, just keep an eye on the channel, Jackrabbit, and hopefully that'll be out not too far future. So now you can turn around. He hasn't got a broken wrist anymore. What are the system requirements to make such animations? Probably more than you'd like, but less than you'd think. No, that's fine. Galant Ascent, absolutely. Ask questions. That's what I do these live streams for, so I can talk to you guys about the process. And yeah, Jack Rabbit. Yeah, I'm glad I I hope I can help you in any way to get your own stuff done. Um, right, system requirements. I mean, you can download Unreal for free, and you can see how it runs on whatever system you may have currently. Like I started on a Mac, and it worked okay. Well, no, actually, no, it didn't. It worked crap. But it taught me enough to know that I was wanting to take it further and invest in a more powerful computer, which might be a thing to do to start with, before you go ahead and invest too much. Oh God, the questions are coming thick and fast. I have a, hang on a second. RTX 3070. I need to write this down because I need to lean over and look at it every single time. RTX 3070 graphics card, and it works pretty well. You know, I can get away with a surprising amount of stuff. Okay, I'll scroll up a little bit. Okay, quick fire questions. Any chance of a live action AFK 3 season 3? Hope springs eternal. We're hoping to release, no, are going to release Hole in the World very, very soon. Just putting in the final touches on the first episode. Hopefully we should be in the next couple of weeks, actually. Just want to say Star Wars Theory got me onto the channel. Oh, great, that's got you here. Have to check that out, Star Wars Theory. Is this for a new or old video? This is for a new video, as yet unreleased. Do your actors provide any ad-lib ideas for how the script scene goes? Yes, they do. As I said before, I think mentioned that we have chats, and a lot of the ideas just come out of ad-libbing and Callum and Dallas just wanting to put their own spin on some scenes. Hello, how are you today? I am good, thank you very much. The best thing to first invest in is dedicating time. Yes, I won't try to tell you that learning Unreal will be a fast process. It will be a slow, frustrating, occasionally soul-destroying process. I'm not trying to scare you away. I'm just not trying to send you in with any false idea of, oh, this is going to be easy, because it's not. Especially if you're starting, you know, from scratch in terms of 3D or game engine experience. But having said that, the resources out there for learning it are many. There's so many incredibly generous people out there providing their knowledge for free, and online courses, and you know, I'm hoping to release one myself soon. I'm just adding the flashing lights throughout the scene, just to put a more interest, so it's not just like one solid color all the way through while this guy goes off. So yeah, guys with slower computers, just save that. I mean, like I said, I started out with a 4-year-old Mac, and it ran like a 3-legged pig, but it ran enough that I could teach myself some stuff and think, oh, actually, yeah, I want to learn more about this. So that could be an option, just downloading it just to have a play in a very, very limited sense and see if it's something you want to take further. So how's this looking? That turn is still ridiculous, but I'll have to come back and fix that later. Hopefully it's intriguing enough, unless you're wondering what he's ranting about, that you'll watch the finished product. In the last stream you said to keep in touch in case you needed a voice actor. How would I do that? I think our email is on the on the YouTube channel page. If it's not, it's just afkwebseries@gmail.com. afkwebseries@gmail.com. If you wanted to drop me a line about anything like that, that comes straight through to me. Yeah, Galan Descent, as I said, it does take persistence to learn a program like this. Because there are days, there are still days where it's like, why aren't you doing this thing that you were doing yesterday perfectly fine? What has happened? What absolutely minor setting has changed deep in the bowels of the program that I have to track down? Um, it is very much like that. And there have been days where I've spent literally all day trying to fix one issue and getting nothing done creatively at all. And that's a little soul destroying, but you have to, I think, I've said before that you have to wade through the fetid swamps of reality in this program to reach the Elysian fields of unreality, which is where you actually get to play with the program and do creative stuff. Sorry, that's probably a little more flowery language than is required. Just starting to put some animations on FNG here while he's being rented out. It's like, wait, is this guy having a go at me? So I know we've had quite an influx of new subs just recently, coming in surprisingly through the shorts as opposed to the longer form stuff. But you know, however people discover the channel is great. So welcome to you guys, if there's anybody here listening. I would be remiss, as always, if I didn't mention the option of channel memberships. For those who may want to get advanced viewings on these episodes before they come out to the general public, as well as, why is he wiggling his head around like that? That's weird. As well as other behind the scenes goodies and chat emojis, that kind of thing. So yeah, we do have the option of channel memberships, so if anybody has a few pingers lying around, pingers is what we call coins here in New Zealand, then, you know, feel free to check that out. There is also a Patreon site which achieves pretty much the same goal, allows you to get early access to these videos before they come out to the general public. I'm sure you've been asked this a lot, but did red or blue influence you any? No, actually, surprisingly not. I mean, I was familiar with red and blue. I'd watched it before this, but I hadn't watched it for years before I started doing this. And it was only after the first couple got released that people say, "Oh, it's just like red and blue. It's just like red versus blue, red versus blue." And oh yeah, I guess it kind of is. But yeah, not consciously, let's say. A slower head turn, yeah. This is what that would look like. That's quite funny. And the other thing we can play with is a possible little push in, maybe, on this guy as he rants. Which means we have to do a focus pull as well, but that's okay. So we'll check the focus here. Yes, I can't wait to hear this. Yes, I will tell you that it is TKFNG who's been ranted at. I will not tell you by who or why. So now we've got a little camera push in on that moment as he absolutely goes off. Yeah, that's quite interesting what's going on there. There's a weird kind of light reflection thing happening under his neck, which is a little bit ugly, and I'm not sure what's causing that. Is it the alarm light? No. Is it the breach? No. Is it the flash? No. What are these lights? This is how I spend half my day, is just switching lights on and off again and trying to figure out where particularly nasty reflections are coming from. That doesn't seem to be caused by anything at all. That's weird. Oh, it's the it's the ambient light coming from these glowy panels. So it's not actually a in-world light at all, or in the box here. Hello, Alexander. Hey, Marcus. Yeah, the level of which Unreal can emulate reality it's pretty scary actually sometimes. Uh, you know, oftentimes you can spot it, but sometimes even I look at some shots and think, wow, that's, if you were just glancing at that, you know, and you didn't know where it came from, you'd just assume, as you said, that those were just guys in stormtrooper costumes. Hello, Marcus. Oh, we were all noobs one day, once upon a time. Welcome. Ajalon Cole, I hope I said that right. Do I do this full time? Currently, if only because New Zealand shuts down for the summer and only very, very slowly comes back to life after Christmas and New Year's, so it's still pretty quiet over here. And I'm kind of trying to make this work in terms of a, I don't want to say career, but in terms of earning a living online. And doing okay so far. Doing okay. You know, not investing in any condos yet, but doing okay. Yeah, I think this is going to be fun. Once you guys hear it with the actual voice. There is still that weird little bloop flicker when he turns around, but I will totally fix that before it goes completely live. So what I might do now is just turn it around. So that's camera 1. Let's look at camera 2. So we can do multicam on the same sequence. Once again, just turn off that camera move. Oh, thank you, Zack Ryder. Well, fingers crossed. Fingers absolutely crossed. New Zealand. You have a play in New Zealand. Oh, a player, I assume. Oh yeah, New Zealand. Yeah, there's a lot of us around the world, and we kind of talk like this. I must do another moisture farmers at some point. That was fun. See, this is where sometimes something will look okay from one angle, but on the other angle, he looks like he's turning his head far too far around, like he'd break his neck. Did I model and texture the clones? No, as I said a little earlier in the stream, I downloaded these particular troopers and many of the assets, actually, in fact, pretty much all the assets, like the set and everything else, and eternally grateful to the people far better than me at 3D modeling, who make these available on various 3D sites for download. So I might just have to adjust that head turn a little bit so it doesn't look like he's breaking his neck. Oh, let me also remind you all of the AFK merchandise store with a bunch of Stormtrooper themed t-shirts available at the moment. So that's pretty much a link on the bottom of any video that you might watch on the site. So yeah, if you find yourself with some galactic credits burning a hole in your pocket, maybe go and have a look at that. Curious if TKF&G tried to fly a TIE fighter. I actually got an idea in mind for the future of them in TIE fighters, that it would be some kind of punishment because the life expectancy of TIE pilots is ridiculously low, I imagine. So I think they would have to screw up pretty badly to end up in a TIE fighter. So that's the reverse on that angle. And if I go to the other light, I should be able to have two cameras going at once so we can see kind of how those shots look together. No, there's absolutely not an issue using pre-made assets as long as you credit the people who have made them in your productions. Oftentimes they're available for a very small fee. Oftentimes they're actually free. People have made stuff available for free online, and sometimes some surprisingly high quality models are available for free. So once again, the generosity of people online is the stuff that makes this kind of thing possible. Well, Zach, we'll just have to see when this one comes out. Okay, we'll probably call that a day for now. We've set that shot up quite nicely, except for that weird little jinky turn where he does a little shimmy. So got a lot of cool stuff going on there. And Oh, sorry. Do I write a script before I start animating? Absolutely. Yes. The script is written. The voices are recorded. Um, Everything is laid down. Unless it's a scene where there is minimal dialogue or something where it's just like an action moment where there's no dialogue required. Um, I Yeah, I like to animate to the voice because you can match specific moments in the dialogue and highlight those with a twitch of the head or a movement of the hand or whatever is required. What's the Twitch icon in the bottom left corner? It's something that I need to take off because it shouldn't be there. Originally, I was going to do these streams on Twitch and I forgot to take that off. So thanks for reminding me of that. Looking good. The shimmy adds character. It's a little robotic, but okay. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you just caught the end of this, it'll be up on the site soon to watch all the way through, should you so desire. And yeah, once again, channel memberships. If you want to become a channel member, you can access the next episode earlier than everybody else. AFK Store is available to buy merchandise from them at the bottom of every single video. There's a link there. Donations, super thanks, always welcome as well. Thank you everyone, and we'll catch you next time.